Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a topic that is, well, pretty technical on the surface, but honestly, it's incredibly relatable. If you've ever found yourself pulling your hair out because you're fighting against a rigid document format, you're going to know exactly what we're talking about today. We're diving into the philosophy of refactoring those stubborn, rigid templates to finally get a dynamic workflow. We'll be looking at a brilliant case study straight from the developer logs of a programmer named Ang. We're going to break down exactly how they took a static Typst template and turned it into this flexible powerhouse using Pandoc variables. So get ready, because the concepts we're exploring today apply to pretty much any workflow where you need to decouple your data from your design.
Now, check out this number, 198. This isn't just some one-off tutorial we're looking at. Nope, this is part 198 of an ongoing developer log. Just think about the sheer dedication it takes to meticulously document your coding journey for that long. It's wild. Ang has been writing about their experiences coding with Haskell for 6 straight months now. Hitting entry 198 is an absolute epic milestone, and it really just instantly hooks us into this long-term journey of problem solving. It's a great reminder that elegant code doesn't just magically happen overnight, right? It's the result of showing up day after day and slowly refining your craft.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, a 6-month Haskell journey.
Moving right along to Section 2, the hard-coded template problem.
So in the world of document automation, rigidity is absolutely the villain of the story. You can see the elements that were essentially trapped in Ang's default template: the publisher, the year of publishing, and the table of content title. Think about it. If the year 2026 is hard-coded directly into the design template itself, what exactly happens when January 1st, 2027 rolls around? You're forced to manually open up your core design files just to change one tiny piece of text. Locking these specific ever-changing pieces of metadata into the template file severely limits your flexibility. Actually, it does worse than that. It completely bottlenecks your ability to generate new documents on the fly.
Which brings us to Section 3, moving metadata to source code.
Okay, let's dive into this. To break free from this rigid mold, Ang came up with a really strategic methodology. It's all about shifting the responsibility of what the data is away from how the data looks. Let's walk through this step-by-step logic, because honestly, it is wonderfully elegant in its simplicity. Step 1 is to just physically move those hard-coded values out of the template and into the source code. But, where do they actually go? Well, that leads perfectly into Step 2, adding Pandoc variables directly into the document's metadata. Pandoc is this super powerful document converter, and by using its variables, you're basically carving out blank slots in your template that are just waiting to be filled. And finally, Step 3, adding customization through console tool arguments. This is the holy grail right here. It means instead of editing a file manually, you can just pass a quick command line argument to update your publisher or your year instantly when you generate the document. It's a literal masterclass in setting up a dynamic workflow.
Let's get into the fun stuff. Section 4, breaking down the code.
All right, looking at the code on the left side here, we have the old, restrictive way of doing things. You see that minus sign indicating what got stripped out? In the outline settings, the title is completely hard-coded with specific static characters, right there in the brackets. If you ever wanted that title to say something else, or maybe be in a different language, well, you were totally out of luck unless you went in and hacked the template file itself. But now look over at the right side with the plus sign. This is the brilliant shift. Ang replaced that static text with a variable, $, TOC title, $. That is your Pandoc variable syntax in action. It acts as the perfect dynamic placeholder. The template is no longer bossing around the title, it's just holding the door open, waiting for the document's metadata to pass the actual title through whenever the file gets rendered. It's such a tiny change in syntax, but it results in a colossal change in functionality.
And that leads us to Section 5, the dynamic customization takeaway.
So what does this all actually mean? Why does this matter so much? It's because true customization requires moving metadata completely out of the template and into the console tool. Extracting these variables is the foundational step. It's the key that ultimately allows you to seamlessly update the publisher, the year, or the table of contents via really simple automated console commands. Your template should only care about presentation, fonts, margins, layout. It absolutely should not care what year it is. By cleanly separating the two, Ang achieved true, pure customization.
After navigating this deeply technical journey of code refactoring and template variables, Ang signs off the log with a really polite, classic signature, "Yours truly, Ang. Till the next post."
I just love that. It adds a wonderful touch of authorial personality, and it kind of reminds us that behind all this code, behind every console tool and Pandoc variable, there is a real person. Just a developer sitting at a keyboard, figuring things out day by day, for 198 days and counting, and generously sharing those notes with the rest of us on the internet.
And that brings me to a question for you. Think about your own work for a second. Whether you write Haskell code, design presentations, build spreadsheets, or even manage teams, what hard-coded values are holding back your projects today? Where's that rigidity slowing you down? I really challenge you to look at your own workflows this week, root out those rigid templates that are limiting your potential, and figure out a way to make them dynamic. Thank you so much for hanging out and learning with me today on The Explainer. I really hope you leave here inspired to build more flexible, resilient systems. Catch you next time.